Welcome to Nintendo Ninja News. I'm your host, Chris Dices, and we're here to talk about something a little bit different. And this is sort of aimed at a little Facebook group called the Canberra YouTubers, and they had their own panel at GammaCon convention here in Canberra. You may have noticed a dozen or so videos we've been uploading about that, and we haven't been reporting much on news, but that's okay. We'll be getting straight back to that when more news is available. Now, we've done a couple of videos where we talked about Nintendo Ninja News and what we've done and things like that. And we wanted to sort of talk a bit more directly to them about how Nintendo Ninja News came together. And I guess for some of the fans out there, the diehards who did watch that 2-hour movie length thing on GammaCon, I guess you're not going to have a problem sitting through this. So, where do we begin? So, back in 2012, the idea of Nintendo Ninja News sort of came into my mind. And the first attempt was a failed attempt. And it was just a website that did articles, news, and reviews, and things like that. We even tried a couple videos, oddly enough, but they've all been deleted to the wastelands. However, I was a little young. I was living in a different place, which was a very small one-bedroom, and it wasn't working out very well view-wise. It was poor, and I wasn't too happy about writing out articles and keeping up with reviews, because you obviously don't get review copies when you're starting out. So after a few months of doing that, and we're still using the original logos from 4 years ago, we axed the idea and we walked away. I walked away from that. Now, as time went on, I became a member of the Canberra Street Pass group for the Nintendo 3DS. And I started to get to know more Nintendo people online, on Twitter and Facebook and things like that. And it really was until some point in 2014 where we started looking at the idea of bringing back Nintendo Ninja News. And that was an important thing to look at, some particular sort of guidelines or policies that we would have in order to bring it back. Now, one of our sort of principles at Nintendo Ninja News is we like to think a bit like Nintendo. We like to be the kid in the corner doing his own thing and doing something different that no one else is doing. And we wanted to do content that was different from other people. And when we did officially come back, we did an audio podcast, and we thought that maybe that was the way to do it. And it only lasted from 3 months, March of 2015 to about June, July. And we promoted ourselves at the Stir grant that we won a grant from about that. But the audio podcasts weren't generating much interest. People said that they preferred other ways of finding out the news. And we sort of... I sort of took a step back and thought, okay, this is not working. What do we do? What do we do next? And we thought of YouTube. We thought, we're not going to do it on our website, and we're not going to do that sort of thing. And we're going to be providing the news, and we're going to be doing it in video format, which was a bit scary to show my face on webcam. And I was in a new place too, and I had the second bedroom here, which I had no idea what to use for, and it was just a small writing room. And I thought, this is going to be the room. This is going to be the ninja desk, the YouTube office, you can say. And we started doing videos about the news as we moved on. Now, what I started noticing was the views were a little low. They were definitely higher, but there was just something that wasn't gaining traction. And I noticed that my videos were about 5 or 6 minutes long. And I watched other videos that talked about Nintendo News, and they actually went longer than me. So, for example, they talked about a new Pokemon that was revealed, or 2 or 3. They would take 10 minutes to tell you that. 10 minutes. And I thought, my God, this is just too long. I'm just sitting here as a viewer and I'm falling asleep. And I thought, we can't let this happen to our channel. And we thought, what if we actually presented it as an actual news bulletin, 1 to 2 minutes long, short and sharp, just a quick welcome to Nintendo Ninja News. I'm your host, or sometimes we just dump the host if we really need to get into it, and just provide just the facts, a release date of a game or something that's happened, or you should check out this website or check something out. And we did that. And when we did that, that's when we started to see views grow. We started to see them go from 1,000 a month to 3,000. And a couple months ago, we somehow hit 20,000. That was because we reported on Mario at the Olympic Games. Obviously, a lot of people did not read all the title and descriptions that I said that I cannot put that footage on the actual footage of Mario appearing at the Rio Olympics, because the Olympic Committee are very copyright strike. And they did block literally every video that showed even an image of that. So we've had some good highs with V3 and things like that. So our policy was to have short, sharp videos that people could easily find on YouTube. So people, search new Legend of Zelda game or new amiibos announced. That's what we would write in the description of the title. Is that nothing extra like Nintendo Ninja News or anything like that? Because no one's looking for Nintendo Ninja News. They're just looking for Nintendo News. And that sort of policy and ideas started to work out very nicely. It was really, really good. And I think that's part of the success of that. And obviously we built up a bit of a collection of Nintendo stuff. In the early days, we had amiibo packagings behind us, which is a bit of a beginner's time. But then we changed the desk around and we had a bit more of a solid background. So, and then we did the Facebook page, which is doing all right, and Twitter and things like that. And then we started to think about, well, what other content could we do over time? What is something that we can do that still follows that kind of principle of Nintendo, doing things that are different to Sony and Microsoft and everyone else? And we looked at doing the N&N show, which is basically about 10 or 15 minutes of giving out an opinion about Nintendo and the industry, and mixed in with my own personal life and how are things going, and if I'm stressed out about the show or things like that. And that's worked out pretty well. That's one of the segments that we have. We also looked into Nintendo Historia, which talks about the history of Nintendo. Now, a lot of people think, oh, you mean back with the Nintendo Entertainment System? Well, no. We went back all the way to 1889, which is basically the historical beginning point where they were doing playing cards in Japan. So they did that for many decades, and yes, some of the stories are true that criminal gangs did make a nice little profit from these playing cards back in the day. And if they got a pack of playing cards that were malfunctioned or there was errors in the cards, and they weren't very happy. So we did that sort of thing. We've done a bunch of videos on that, and that's something that kind of separates us from other channels that mainly do let's plays and watch me play a game for an hour or so. And those channels are very, very popular, but we want to do something that's different from the others. And then we did the guest spot, which is basically talking to people. And that's a large part of what we want to do at Nintendo Ninja News, is talking to the fans and getting their opinion about stuff. Is that you don't really see many channels do that. It's mainly a one person, which it is mainly for me, and sort of showing off gameplay footage and things like that. And there's obviously Nintendo's beef with content being put on YouTube or really anywhere. We do have reviews and gameplay, but it's a little bit different. Sometimes if I enjoy a game, I may just stream it. And we are looking at talking to third-party devs about promoting their games and things like that, and having a talk to them. Some reviews have done quite well because we tend to pick out more obscure things, like a 3DS XL protection case did really well because no one else reviewed it. The comments were, you're the only person that reviewed that thing because it's pretty obscure, because most people will review games or things like that. So we look at accessories and little bits and pieces that people don't think about. And we have Ninja News Live, which is talking to people directly, asking them questions. They ask me questions. We talk about different things. And that's the sort of interaction between the YouTube show and the actual people who watch my videos. Because it's nice to have a bit of a small fan base who I know by name, and I know what their favorite games are and things like that, which is great. And that's still the important thing that we still try to do, is that what is it that makes us different from the other channels. And I enjoy doing the show. It's stressful at times, especially when there's news that comes on around midnight and 1 o'clock in the morning. You got to get up, go in and take that one take. And normally we do these videos in a one take. And the reason why is because we need to get the news out quickly. So I've learnt pretty well how to do sort of speeches and things like that over the years. And by using those skills, I can mostly do the videos in the one take. And the video gets uploaded as it is. And it looks fine. Because it's just a guy, a webcam, talking about the news. Fairly basic stuff. And people talk about, you should have an intro and an outro like all those gaming channels. Same old, same old. We've seen that 100 times. And if we put like a 10-second intro and outro, and that's 20 seconds added to a 1-minute video talking about a new Pokemon revealed, then all you're doing is just skipping, you're just watching filler. People just want the news. And that's what I do. I go, bang, here it is. And that is being sort of what has been the successful element of the show. We would like to work with other people and things like that, and that's something that we look into. But it is a little bit difficult because we just talk about Nintendo, and it's a more of a face-to-face sort of environment. It's not really playing games together and things like that. So it's really about finding the right people who can do something like that. And I think the success has been due to posting videos at the right time, getting it out quickly, learning about, and having a good knowledge of Nintendo too. Because there are people that will post any rumor or any bullshit rumor about Nintendo or the new console that's coming out. There's people who post rumors every day trying to get views and things like that, and they lose their credibility. We post rumor from time to time, but they have to come from pretty legit sources and places. And 99% of rumors you can discard pretty easily. If you've got your John Stewart bullshit detector on. So that's something that is important to learn too. So I think overall, we've done all right for the first year with the things that we've done. And we've sorted out our sort of segments that we do with the NNN show and the live streaming and the every now and again reviews and, of course, the history section that we do for more people going back over and over and watching it. And that's how we worked it out. The history channel, we show off the items and we give you a detailed look at it and we talk about the history of it, why it was made and things like that. And I think people are interested in that sort of stuff, and things keep on increasing and doing well. And that's the main thing. And obviously, you have to have a passion to do something this mad. Doing E3 and posting videos at 5 o'clock in the morning, you've had barely no sleep, and I'm getting messages from lots of people saying, oh, this has happened and this has been revealed, and you're jotting down notes and uploading sort of videos every 10, 15 minutes, and it's kind of insane, but it's sort of fun and worth it at the same time. And obviously, we went in big with Gamacon doing 2 hours of footage, and most of it was usable because we sort of filmed in a chronological order. We say we do things in a semi-professional way. You know, it's not an ultra slick production with cool background music in it, and it's more authentic in a way. You know, you're seeing people as they are, you're seeing the crowds as they are, you're seeing people talk as they are. You know, we don't really edit out mistakes and that. We make a slight mistake here and there, or we just sort of make a laugh or joke out of it. And I think it shows a bit more of a human side to the fan base too. That's a very important thing for us, is the show is not just providing news, but giving them a platform to talk. And I think that's what we try to do, is actually get people to come on the show, get them on video and things like that. And I think that's probably the next big part is sort of networking and advertising and all that sort of stuff. But I'm going to wrap up the video because it's gone way too long. That's a lot of minutes for me. But if you're all wondering, in that logo, that little character, that's another story. That is actually our mascot, but that's another story for another day. So I'm going to sign off now, and that will be it from me. So until more news is presented, which, oh god, it could be any minute. Hopefully a new console's revealed next week. That'll be nice. Not when I'm at EB Expo. God, I hope not. All right, that's it from me, and I'll see you later on.